Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Rare Coins. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating story behind the 1977 one-dime coin. A piece of American history that often goes unnoticed, yet carries layers of meaning, craftsmanship, and economic context that deserve to be fully appreciated to truly understand the importance of the 1977 dime. We must first step back and explore the long journey of the United States dime itself. The dime as a denomination dates back to the Coinage Act of 1792, when the young American government sought to establish a stable and reliable currency system. The word dime comes from the Latin word decimus, meaning 1/10, and it represents 1/10 of a dollar. From the earliest days, the dime was intended to be a small silver coin that could facilitate everyday transactions and serve as a foundation for the new nation's commerce. Over the centuries, the design and composition of the dime evolved, reflecting the nation's political leadership, artistic trends, and economic realities. The early dimes, such as the Draped Bust and Capped Bust series introduced between the late 1700s and early 1800s, set a tone of classical elegance and featured symbols of liberty, national unity, and strength. By the mid-19th century, the seated Liberty dime came into circulation, showcasing the image of liberty seated on a rock. Holding a shield and a pole topped with a liberty cap, this design mirrored the country's ambition and growth, especially during a time of westward expansion, industrial development, and the deepening debate over slavery and union. Then came the Barber dime in 1892, designed by Charles E. Barber, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. At the time, the Barber dime was part of a family of coins that also included the Barber quarter and Barber half-dollar. Its design was simpler and more compact, reflecting the more restrained aesthetic tastes of the late 19th century. Fast forward to 1916, when the Mercury dime was introduced, designed by Adolph A. Weinman. The Mercury dime became one of the most beloved and artistically admired coins in U.S. history, with the portrait of Liberty wearing a winged cap, often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury. This coin symbolized freedom of thought and innovation. It became iconic. During the years of World War I, the Roaring Twenties, and the Great Depression, then in 1946, following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the U.S. Mint introduced the Roosevelt dime, honoring the late president for his leadership during the Depression and World War II. And for his efforts in founding the March of Dimes to combat polio, the Roosevelt dime has remained the primary design from 1946 to the present day, including the 1977 issue. The 1977 Roosevelt dime was struck at 3 U.S. Mint locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with circulation coins bearing no mint mark for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, and an S for San Francisco. Proof coins in 1977. The dime was struck from a clad composition made of a copper core sandwiched between 2 layers of copper nickel. This composition was adopted in 1965 as part of the Coinage Act that eliminated silver from circulating dimes and quarters due to rising silver prices and the cost of production. This change marked a significant moment in American numismatic history as it reflected broader shifts in monetary policy and resource management. Looking more closely at the details, the obverse of the 1977 dime features the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, facing left with the inscriptions, "Liberty in God We Trust," and the date 1977, alongside the designer's initials JS for John Sinek. On the reverse, we see a torch flanked by olive and oak branches symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength respectively, with the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 dime. In terms of mintage figures, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 350 million dimes in 1977, the Denver Mint struck over 400 million, and the San Francisco Mint made around 3 million proof coins. These numbers reflect the large scale of U.S. coin production during the 1970s, a decade marked by inflation, economic uncertainty, and shifting global financial dynamics. To fully appreciate the 1977 dime, we must consider the broader economic backdrop. The late 1970s in America were a time of high inflation known as stagflation. When rising prices coincided with sluggish economic growth and high unemployment, the Federal Reserve faced tough decisions about how to manage the money supply and interest. Rates, meanwhile, international events, such as the oil crises of the 1970s, had ripple effects across global markets, influencing the value of the dollar and the purchasing power of everyday Americans' coins, like the 1977 dime. Thus, were not just pieces of metal. They were part of the larger economic story circulating through the hands of millions used for bus fare, vending machines, telephone calls, and countless small transactions. Every scratch and dent on a circulated dime tells a story of American life during that era. Culturally, the 1970s were also a time of change and reevaluation in the wake of the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal, and shifting social norms. The American public was grappling with issues of trust in government, civil rights, gender equality, and environmental awareness. Small as it was, the dime remained a symbol of national identity, a reminder of collective effort and resilience, and the choice to honor Roosevelt on the dime continued to resonate as a tribute to public service and commitment to the common good in the numismatic world. Collectors of the 1977 dime often look for high-grade examples, especially coins with full torch bands on the reverse, which indicate sharp, detailed strikes. These full-band dimes are particularly prized in mint state or proof condition and can command higher premiums among specialists, while most 1977 dimes in circulation hold only face value. Some exceptional specimens, such as those graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services, can fetch notable prices at auction-error coins from this year, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet also capture the attention of collectors and can add exciting layers of discovery to the hobby. To produce a high-quality video on the 1977 dime one, could explore interviews with numismatists, footage of the minting process, archival materials on Roosevelt's legacy, and insights into the economic and cultural shifts of the late 1970s. We could also trace the journey of a single dime from mint to pocket to piggy bank, exploring the everyday life of a coin and the human stories behind it. Furthermore, we could delve into the technological evolution of coin production, from traditional die engraving to modern computer-aided design, and the role of quality control at the U.S. Mint. Understanding how each step impacts the final product adds a layer of depth to the appreciation of even the most common coins, expanding on the materials science side. We could explore how the clad composition resists wear and oxidation compared to earlier silver coins, and how metallurgical choices reflect the balance between durability, cost, and aesthetic appeal. Looking ahead, we could even touch on the future of the dime. As the United States increasingly moves toward digital payments, what will become of small denomination coins? Will they remain part of our daily transactions, or will they shift into purely collectible artifacts? These are the kinds of big-picture questions that connect a small 1977 dime to the evolving landscape of money technology and human culture. In conclusion, the 1977 one-dime coin is far more than just 10 cents. It is a gateway into American history, economics, art, and society, a mirror reflecting the challenges and achievements of its time. By diving into its story, we gain not only numismatic knowledge, but also a richer understanding of the forces that shape our world. Thank you for joining me on this deep exploration. Stay tuned as we uncover more rare and fascinating coins on this channel and continue the journey through the world of numismatics.